All right, so here we go. Combat cast time. I haven't had a chance to see this yet. I'm a little late, and I want to get this up because there's a lot of Joker stuff happening. And it's funny, in the back of my head, I'm curious how this combat cast goes because I might want to go back and play some MK versus DC Joker before the Joker comes out next week, because I think that might be the character that he's closest to in terms of gameplay. But let's watch this thing and hope I get surprised by some crazy Joker stuff.
No
All right, things are working.
I don't want to be the guy
Functional.
who does live TV, but yeah, that's where we are. All right, so let's go back to where we were.
Let's start over.
Yes.
So the first thing I'd like to talk about is his forward 2. And I think this is one of his 2 key moves that you're going to kind of revolve.
The crazy thing I saw was that he had he could pull a body bag out of like a wheelchair or something, but that was a part of a normal combo string. It wasn't even a special move. It looked really cool.
Transform it into a special move.
Okay, into the beatdown.
Or, on counter hit, you get a crushing blow. Which leads to a combo opportunity.
That's pretty good.
So I think
that one's pretty good. That means you can get the counter hit state at the end, or I'm sorry, at the beginning and then use it at the end.
Okay.
The other
like
one
it.
is his really good mid, and that is forward 1. And
Where
he
he kind of
actually
throws money at you.
Well, that's a mid?
Oh, I thought it was like cash, because like that would be something Nick would do, is just throw money at you.
Oh, I think you're right. That's money. That makes it
Oh, it's not cards. They're burning money.
He has no need.
I thought it was cards too.
He doesn't care about material possessions.
Yeah, this combo string looks
So this is a mid.
hilarious.
It ends in a low. It's relatively safe. It has pushback. And you can... This special move is an overhead. So,
Bird Boy beatdown.
yeah, a high-risk mix-up would be you go into the overhead. And then when you've conditioned them, you can go into the low.
So this is.
I wonder if the overhead has a crushing
If you
blow.
are a tournament player, this is the first tournament variation.
Yes.
What would you, if you were to give this whole version of Joker a name, what kind of version is this?
A little bit of zoning, and then a lot of mix-ups.
Okay.
And yeah, this is a really fast mid. I think it's an awesome, why would you not do this move if you're up close move? You really can't go wrong.
What do you used to call those?
Why not?
Characters with fast mids end up being very good in Mortal Kombat 11.
Is really good.
It could be a good
There's
sign.
A couple of options from it, like he can actually get a combo.
Ooh, wait, he has a natural meterless
He can go
pop-up.
into an overhead, or he can go into this ender that keeps him standing. And this is awesome to me because it looks exactly like his throw.
Oh, so it's kind of tricky. A little tricky there, eh?
Strike throw mix-ups are one of the key mix-ups in MK11, and I think he really excels at it.
Yes, and he's got the puppet, which is my favorite thing. But
Yeah.
This thing looks insane, dude.
One more move is his back 3.
I love like the twisting of the body and stuff.
It's unsafe, but it can also complement his overhead. He can hit confirm it if he wants to stay safe. It's not like the best low in the game, but it gets the job done. I think it's pretty good.
And I love the flare there at the end.
Oh,
he does
yeah.
a nice little spin.
So it starts from a low and then goes
Yes,
into...
We are still having
Is that his
sound
only
issues.
low,
We're
though?
fine.
Okay.
I think my favorite is probably his down 4, just because of that.
Okay, so down 4 is probably going to be pretty good, because it looks fast as hell.
His hop
That's what we're
attack,
talking about too. Like that's the showmanship, the layout there.
where he pulls out his Batman puppet, and
Yeah, this was the projectile. You can,
Might
delay
be one
it,
of the
too,
best-
it's
from the little bit that I played.
I mean, this is just.
this is one of the things where the designer shows you early. You see the concept art and all that, and you're like,
Okay.
"This
Let's
might,
see how this works.
yeah, this is.
It's
How
also,
did I get this job? This is amazing.
It's also one of those things that when you see a trailer and you see how all the fans react and the players react, and they pick out that one thing and they're like, the bat gun is incredible.
So he has a couple things he can do besides just shoot it. He can actually hold it, and he'll do his impression and talk to Batman.
I didn't see that. What the hell?
Batman.
Then you can release it at any time.
Sucks we can't hear
Or
it, but...
you can amplify it. He shoves this rocket in his mouth, and then he actually gets a pop-up, and you can do a combo.
Interesting. That looks like it has an insane amount of delay. You probably
He
can't
also
combo
has
into it.
multiple things he can say, which is super fun.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different lines.
I like I am the knight.
Yeah. I am the nut.
So then he has Bird Boy beatdown. He runs forward. It's an overhead. The meter burn is super cool. So this has a crushing blow. If he has done the amplified one 3 times,
Oh, wow. This is a super practical crushing blow.
gotta do one more.
Okay.
That's good. I hope that more characters get practical crushing
Now it's
blows,
low.
man. The two that they've shown so
Trying to
far are
do
pretty
it.
practical. What does this do? Does more damage?
Big, beefy damage without having to amplify it.
Oh.
Ooh,
That's
okay,
nice,
so then the
that's
next one just does more
So while
damage. Okay,
normally
no
he
pop-up.
doesn't really have big combo launchers with his special moves. That'll allow him to do like pretty much combo damage anyway.
Right.
Then lastly, he has this Jack in the Box. You can hold it as long as you want, and then release it. And I think this is best
How
used
goofy.
in your block.
So it hits on the way up and on the way
Okay,
down.
explain.
So you can do release it, and this is usually safe, if not like +1, just literally neutral.
And it's pushing him back a little bit.
Yes, that's a very.
But it's a high. Oh no, it's a mid. What the
You can also
hell?
amplify it. I think if it crouch blocks, it's actually plus. It's pretty much, if you do a string, you see they block it. You don't want to do Bird Boy Beatdown. You can do this, and you can do.
That's
different things,
super
like
good, dude. That's so he's just got a safe special at the end of his string.
Full string. You can amplify it
You
all
can hold it
different
for a
ways.
second.
Yeah, hold it for a long time. You basically mix
That's-
it up.
that's-
and
that's insanely
if
tricky.
they're gonna interrupt, if they're gonna block.
Also just seems really good.
Punishable, or one of the more neutral ones because you're crouch blocking. It's basically just a setup, mix-up tool to do when the opponent blocks your stuff. And
Sure.
there'll also be stuff where like,
Just to keep you safe.
yes,
basically
or
it.
you can do stuff where like you knock them down, and as long as you don't think they're gonna wake up, you go into the, and then you can bait out their wake-up attacks, all that kind of good stuff.
I feel as if it's necessary to do the sounds every time he does it.
Yes, it also, the most important thing is he plays the song.
Yes, it is.
Who cares about plus frames when you have that song?
Right.
It's great. It's great.
So-
Cool. What else we got?
Let's go into his throws.
All right. Tyler, always a huge fan of the throws.
Jesus.
Whenever
Triple
we have a new
dick
character
punch.
The designers are making, I always go, and throws
Same.
get put
Are
in
the
kind
throws in?
but the throws get kind of put in later sometimes.
Yes.
So I'm always sad because it's like the throws aren't in yet. And
Right.
The character can look amazing. I'm like, oh, but no throws. Okay, I'll be back
No
later.
throws? Yep. All right.
So his forward throw has a crushing blow, but it actually has an interesting crushing blow requirement. It's not the usual one.
Oh, it's gonna be a
And
ball
it's tied to
buster.
his fatal blow. So let's go straight to that.
Oh, before we go there too, let's talk about that. Front and back crushing blows from throws.
Yes.
Only do one a game now.
Yes, only one a game. So
Forgot to
that's,
mention that.
That's a pretty big balance change for characters that had both those. I
Right.
think it's still. I think there's still some of the best crushing.
Oh,
blows
so you only get
have,
one
but,
front
like,
or back
Sindel,
crushing blow
that's
per
pretty
game
good.
now. People were getting a lot of damage off those
So his fatal
before.
blow is he.
It felt cheap because it was so
And
just guess heavy.
he can also hold it, and he can actually cancel it, similar to Johnny Cage. And that allows him to actually.
Put on the pressures.
This is so cool.
Exactly.
I
Or
discovered
the
I was doing this in
combos.
the
So this
in the
is
play
tied
test
to
or the preview. I'm like, whoa, this is gonna be nuts!
was-
Wow, that was unintentional. that was unintentional.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about the fatal blow, and Johnny Cage's
have
balls
an
got destroyed.
awesome strike throw guessing game.
That's cool.
You're either going to get a strike into big damage, or the crushing blow.
So you could literally be full screen on somebody, just cancel it, and then like walk them down for 8 seconds.
That would be a very long walk, but yes.
Or like, you know, in a way that's not like, just if you do it like even 5 feet away from them, like boom, boom,
Yes.
just do it. And now you have that mind game with it.
Exactly. Like you could do. And then.
Are you going to finish a combo? Are you going to go in for a throw?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that just makes his throw game all the more better when he's on cooldown.
Yep. That's an ingenious use of crushing blow. I love
Yeah,
that.
when I saw that requirement first, I'm like, I don't get it. What's
I almost wish more characters had the ability to do that. I think the cancel of crushing blows is super.
That's actually
Adds a
really
bit
good.
more of an interesting
So it's got
dynamic
variation.
gameplay-wise, especially between block strings and
Variation.
physical combos.
And this one is based
I wish it
on
wasn't
back-
just like Joker and Johnny Cage. I wish
So
there was
the first
more
thing
characters
is
that sort of had the
actually
ability to do
cancel
this.
that Sifu. Unlike a lot of cancels, this one actually doesn't cost stamina. And I don't think this one's about block pressure as much as it is faking you out with zoning.
Right.
Because you can hold it, amplify it, or actually just throw
Throw
it
it
down.
away. Yeah.
I feel like it just
Second thing
throws
is
the shit to the ground.
Parry.
You know I love parries.
Oh yeah. So regular, he slaps you in the face with it. And if you amplify it,
Gonna
he gets
pop
a
up.
pop up.
Ooh, so you can amplify it for a
Lastly-
general pop-up.
This is awesome. He puts
You
it on
can't
the
actually
ground,
combo into it.
amplify it, he gets 4 shots. And this is a pretty awesome zoning tool. It's a low, which you can also use in mix-ups.
Right.
It's a big pushback tool. And it's actually a pretty big chunk of damage.
It's also 4 shots, so like reflects don't have a.
That's a
good deal
great
with it.
point. Yeah. You can see it's pretty good damage. Now, if they jump it, you are in a lot of trouble. He's going to have a bad day.
Well, like you're literally kneeling down to put it down.
Yeah,
and set it
you
up.
can like walk behind him, go into your idle animation, get out of it, and then combo him. Like
Yeah.
he's probably going to get sent to Archon if you jump it.
Sure.
But then that would obviously set up like a lot of his great uppercut. Yeah, I didn't show that. It's awesome. And it can just keep the opponent away if you just want to use his mid-range footsie stuff. So I think that's variation.
Well,
one,
what was
as
that
I
jumping
said a while
forward
ago,
kick?
A little bit of zoning, and then it actually helps with his mix-ups too, because it's a low and he has.
So this is still just variation 1.
When he's also in the amplified Batsy Pew, he's probably low profiling stuff too, right? So you can't
Oh,
like,
that's a great point.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's down there on the ground, so you can't hit him with projectiles. You'll probably have to teleport or something like that to get to him.
That's actually a great point, and yeah, so that really helps with the damage. So if he's in a projectile war and it's someone with a high projectile, like they're gonna lose like 20% if he's right,
Right.
on the low.
But
bat
doing
speed.
that against a teleporter is just you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this variation, probably not the best against like Scorpion.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's go to variation 2, which is the interesting, I would say the setup character, the weird.
I'm really curious to see how
this is
they
how
set up
my
all the other special moves that are very setup heavy.
This costume.
He is ready for the ball.
And you know what my favorite part is, oddly, and this is very minute, it's the white around the cane.
Yes.
It just
same.
adds a level of class to it.
Yes.
So tell us, because we call this one Classic Clown.
Yes.
How would you talk about this this variation?
I would say this is your weird setup one. If you like plus frames and weird, oh, I knock them down in the corner and then I do this setup, I think this is going to be the one you like.
Okay.
Probably if you played like the Injustice Joker, like, or if you're like a creative player and you're like, yeah, show me the setups, I think this is going to be the one.
Okay.
So in
Let me
this
see.
variation, he gains 2 new moves, and they're Jack in the Box based. The first is he puts the Jack in the Box on the ground and it shoots up in the air. And this is an anti-air tool. So
Curious. So it hits on the way up and not on the way
And he's
down?
going to get combos. Now, it does not have a hitbox on the way down.
Huh.
But if you amplify it, it does. And now it becomes a space control tool.
Wow, and it has a huge
Put it out.
stun.
The opponent's going to have to move out of the way or block.
Right.
And that's going to allow you to get the gun out, go in with 4-2, go in with 4-1.
Also, like, it's very tricky because if you don't notice the flash, they look
Yes.
the same.
Yeah, the difference is he actually has a light on the head as it's coming down, but it's very subtle.
Right. So you'll really have to pay attention.
It also has a close, medium, and far.
Directable.
And you actually have a pretty tight pop-up window if you do it up close.
Wait, really?
Second move he gets is he kicks the Jack in the Box on the ground, and I think this is going to be your setup tool because it is actually big time advantage. On
What was it? Was it a low?
Now these are very easy
Mid.
to
Okay, that
interrupt,
makes
but if
sense.
You condition the opponent with all your different stuff. They're going to want to block, and that's going to set up doing the low one. And on hit, it pops up for a combo.
Whoa, huge pop up.
Does it?
It does if you're not really bad. Now, that move is too slow to combo off like his normals and stuff, but for setups, it's going to be awesome. Like, you can put that on the ground and bait a wake-up attack, or you can do it in block strings. It's going to have like a lot of uses. And it's also just super fun to use.
You can, I mean, you can bait out wake-up attacks too with it because like they'll armor through it, but you're gonna lose
Exactly.
some meter that way. So there's definitely like the mind games with how we react on knockdown too as an
Yeah,
opponent.
I
So,
think the creative players are really going to like this
Yep.
one. And lastly, we have the variation that I use. And one thing I think is cool about him is you can
I think this is the one that's going to have the glove pop
I
up.
think his
That seemed like one of his
normal
best, easiest to use moves when I was playing.
The special
He has this
moves
like
are where you
big
really-
boxing glove
This is the one you said
retractor
earlier
thing
I would've
that
used.
pops
Yes,
you up, and
this
it's
is
a
the
good
one I-
ender and
this
it's a
is the
good
one-
combo tool.
This is the opposite of the last one. You're like, I don't care. I don't even know what plus frames are, and I'm not playing the tutorial. I want to do combos.
right.
YOLO Joker.
And this outfit,
Awesome.
the feathers are so awesome. So
This
one,
thing.
he loses Bird Boy Beatdown, which means he loses his overhead, but he gains bigger range, and if you amplify it, big combos.
I wonder how safe on block that is from
Now
that
you can
distance.
close this, and he's gonna get pretty beefy damage.
Yeah, that's good. 32.
So about a third of your health.
It also has a fatal blow. If this is a counter hit at max range,
Oh, so they want you to be doing this shit from max range. Oh, but you don't get
I
any
love it.
combo.
It's just like you got to think about when he's inventing those. That it's like they're padded gloves, but no, let's just make the gloves metal then.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But he's the Joker, and
that's crazy.
he's an absolute psychopath. So
Awesome.
yeah, and I think this complements everything. This complements his parry if you want to make your own loadout. It complements his fatal blow if he cancels it. This definitely gives him pretty big damage. Like in the corner, he can actually amplify.
I wonder, I'll have to go back to see. I think this move might be a 3-bar.
Like I've seen
corner comms, right?
Quarter comes.
off his fatal blow cancel. I saw literally a 50% combo. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah. So the other
I
thing
was
he
gonna
gets,
say, what else does he get? What else?
he gets. This is really fun.
No, this thing too. Alien acid. Wait a minute, you can... Wow, you can keep walking back with it? I didn't try that. I just dumped
That's
it.
right. I didn't even think of that.
The whole ground is on fire.
Shaking the can because he's in front of the camera. Remember?
Okay, yeah. So you can actually hold this down. This is as fast as it can be. Or you can hold it. And at any time you can amplify it and it'll actually pop them up. So the idea would be like
Oh, so
knock them
while
down,
holding
do
it, okay.
They try to jump over it and that the pillar of flume goes up and it'll anti-air them. So if they jump, you let it rip.
Whoop.
That was not good.
Nope. You know what? It's the theme of the day.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I feel like Joker's sabotaging us.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
all good.
Joker
Okay.
has definitely sabotaged portions of the stream today.
Or you let it go and then
Wow, the hitbox is
if they
huge.
don't immediately step in it, it now does dot damage.
Well, and
So-
also, just real quick to point out, like, can you get closer to Johnny? Like, right about here. Like, you can see how much that flame goes out. So you don't
Yes.
actually have to be right next to him.
Right, it's a-
Like it how he can stand in his own fire.
Because it's liquid, and that's what liquid does.
Scientists. So this is a good thing for like maybe there's some cool stuff you can do in the corner and things
Yep.
like that.
Yeah, and I think the amplified one is great. Like so many times I'll fight people and they try to jump and then they're always like, "Oh my god, that still hit me."
Right.
I've never played against a jumpy opponent. Never once.
Wow.
Well,
Those are lies. I'm lying.
I would say that is Joker. I think, like I said, I think
all three variations have the chance to be very fun.
straightforward and very simple. You can just
The setup stuff and like the trap
4-1,
stuff looks very cool too.
Combos, a little bit of space control with the puppet, or if you want, I think variation 2 is going to be pretty interesting. And he has a couple moves you saw in the trailer that we didn't show. We only showed 3.
Right. Really cool stuff with the Joker. Definitely excited to see kind of where.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, he seems like he's gonna be cool. I
they
really want to get my hands on him a bit more because I had such a small period of time that I played.
Overall, say
And I'm kind of curious how the PC version of it, of Mortal Kombat 11 is doing, just because it's been so long since I played the PC version, since Sindel came out. To me, he seems like he's just going to be a kind of a fun character. It seems like he's got the obvious good combo capability stuff. He's got a good mid. He doesn't have a lot of really crazy good lows, but at the same time, you have a decent down 4. You can start conditioning people that way. And I do know that MK11 changed a lot with like jump-ins and some tick throw stuff, like a lot of stuff that was a bit more aggressively unfun about the game. They are making some big changes, so I think I'm more curious to jump in now more than ever, and I'm glad these changes are taking place because the next character is the character that is going to be the most important to me, which is Spawn. But for now, I'm kind of surprised they did such a good job on the Joker. I'm curious though, like I said, I want to go to MK vs. DC before Joker comes out next week, play Joker in MK vs. DC and see the little differences that have been sprinkled through that version, because he's obviously way different than he is in Injustice. But I think the MK vs. DC version's a bit similar, so it might be fun to go back to the first time Joker was ever in a Mortal Kombat game, technically, and then do a playthrough of that. Anyway, dudes, thank you a ton for watching, and I'll see you next week when Joker comes out.